Chapter 11. Artemis and Actaeon's tragedy. Artemis, the fierce goddess of the hunt, roamed the wilderness with her loyal nymphs by her side, ever vigilant in her sacred duties. But her resolve would be tested once again when she encountered Actaeon, a mortal hunter whose fate would be sealed by a tragic twist of fate. Actaeon was a skilled and daring hunter, renowned for his courage and prowess in the hunt. He roamed the forests and mountains in search of adventure, his heart filled with a restless longing for excitement and challenge. Artemis, ever watchful over her domain, took notice of Actaeon's exploits and admired his skill and determination. She saw in him a kindred spirit, a fellow seeker of adventure and excitement, and she welcomed his presence in the wilderness. As Artemis and Actaeon crossed paths time and again, their mutual admiration blossomed into friendship and camaraderie. They hunted together, sharing in the thrill of the chase and the satisfaction of a successful kill, and they regaled each other with tales of their exploits beneath the light of the moon. But their idyllic companionship would soon be threatened by forces beyond their control. For Actaeon, driven by his own ambition and desire, dared to challenge the boundaries of mortal and divine, and in doing so, he incurred the wrath of Artemis herself. It began innocently enough, as Artemis and Actaeon embarked on a hunt together, their laughter ringing through the forest as they pursued their quarry with single-minded determination. But as the day wore on and the sun began to set, Actaeon's gaze turned skyward, and he beheld the goddess bathing in a secluded pool. Filled with desire and longing, Actaeon dared to approach the goddess, his heart filled with the reckless abandon of youth. But Artemis, ever chaste and pure, recoiled at his audacity and lashed out in anger, transforming him into a stag with a wave of her hand. And as Actaeon's human form melted away, replaced by the sleek form of a stag, he realized the folly of his actions and the severity of Artemis's wrath. For he was now condemned to roam the forests as a hunted creature, pursued by his own hounds and unable to escape the fate that had befallen him. As Actaeon fled into the depths of the forest, pursued by his own hounds and the hunters who once called him friend, his heart filled with despair and regret at the loss of his humanity. He wandered the wilderness in search of solace and redemption, but found only loneliness and despair at every turn. And as the years passed and Actaeon's fate became the stuff of legend, Artemis watched from afar, her heart heavy with sorrow at the tragedy that had befallen her friend. For she knew that she had been too hasty in her anger, too quick to condemn a mortal for his foolishness. In the end, Actaeon's tragedy served as a cautionary tale for mortals and immortals alike, a reminder of the dangers of arrogance and hubris in the face of the divine. And though his fate was sealed by Artemis's wrath, his memory would live on as a warning to all who dared to challenge the gods. The end.